Hello, welcome to Walter Limited. I'm James from space, the final frontier.
Thanks for tuning in today. Also remember to push the record button. It helps a lot.
The world is massive, with tons of places to explore. But it seems like we've visited the vast majority of them at this point. There is, though, one place that's out of this world that we refer to as the final frontier.
It had a special place for me growing up. Things were different in the 80s and 90s, and space, frankly, was a lot further away.
And it's been interesting to see our relationship with that frontier change over my lifetime.
Growing up, what NASA was doing was a huge deal to a lot of little kids and adults.
Today it's not as much, but back then, when you asked a little kid what they wanted to be, policeman, firefighter, astronaut was right up there.
Now you'll get like YouTube influencer, whatever, social media personality, all kinds of different things. But astronaut used to be a massive dream.
For a lot of kids, going to space was a big deal. Today, that frontier has almost become a little bit passé. We use phones and other devices, GPS in our cars, things like that regularly communicate with the final frontier. NASA used to be a huge deal, and partnerships between LEGO and NASA go back decades. LEGO has made roughly 300 trillion space shuttles. The larger, more intricate sets that used to fall under the creator expert line, those have really grabbed me from time to time.
Along with the NASA-related sets, LEGO has visited space in a more fantastical vein over and over again.
Today I wanted to show you a few of the things that hit special points for me in LEGO.
We've already looked at my shelves and seen the classic space and neoclassic space that I chose to put on there. Premium. Awesome.
Which space-related sets catch your fancy? And which space-related fictional sets are your favorites? There's a wide variety to choose from with Star Wars, and there's a ton of non-Star Wars fictional space sets. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We've seen this view a few times. We got classic and neoclassic space. We got our forestmen. We got our castle stuff. A little off screen to that direction is the pirates. Now it's time to fill in another gap on the display.
We're gonna hit this right here. These two shelves.
So let's go ahead and get started. You may have noticed it already in the backdrop of the initial shot. This beauty. The Saturn V. Originally released in 2017 as set 21309, and then re-released in 2020 due to its popularity as set 92176. I picked up this set when it was $120 and includes 1,969 pieces. Now, 1969 is an important date having to do with the Saturn V. That's the year that it lifted Apollo 11 to the moon's surface.
This set introduces a little bit of a problem because, as you can see, it's huge. Like, it isn't going to fit on a shelf upright. It isn't going to fit on a shelf laying down. So I had to get a little creative for this one.
In order to get it to fit, I went ahead and I built it
a landing platform.
I'm going to display it right here on that landing platform. And for safety's sake, I also built a little Technic restraining strap that I hope the red kind of reminds you of the scaffolding that goes up around the rockets before they blast off. So there it is, the Saturn V in all its glory. Looking lovely.
And not taking up
an entire shelf by itself and more because it is gigantic.
Oh yeah, that's That's my build area over there. I'll take you through my parts collection at some point soon. A couple of the neatest things that came with the set are the recovery capsule and a tiny version, the Apollo 11 lunar lander. Speaking of that Apollo 11 lunar lander, that's the next item that's going on the shelf. This represents one of the seminal moments in not only U.S. space history, but the history of space exploration in general.
One giant leap for mankind.
The Apollo 11 lunar lander, set 10266, was just $100 and came out in 2019. And for a while, they had available this patch as a gift with purchase. So Star Wars, you're not the only one that gets patches as your gifts with purchase. One maybe unfortunate item about the lunar lander is you only got 2 astronauts. The third on that mission doesn't get any fame. He's in there somewhere. Next up is a set that caused a little bit of angst in the LEGO community. I didn't realize it at the time, because when it became available, I got on the site, didn't have any issues, redeemed my VIP points, and put in an order a few days later, got it out to me. Came to find out later on, the release was a little rough, and a lot of people weren't able to obtain one. Next up is NASA's Space Shuttle Discovery, another just banger of a set. 10283, had 2,354 pieces and was $200. The telescope actually fits inside the bay, the cargo bay. You can also open the cockpit. But when I was growing up, if there was a shuttle launch during a school day, we were watching it in my classroom because it was such an important thing back then. Go along with the shuttle, you also got Hubble telescope, which is another beautiful build. And then, of course, each of those has a plaque to go with it. Yeah, unlike the Ulysses kerfuffle, the Hubble was included. That's the way it should be done. But that fills out that shelf and the little side display, which I'm really happy with how that landing pad turned out. Let me know what you think about it. What are your favorite NASA-related sets or realistic, real-world space-related sets? These are mine. Now, as far as space-related builds go, there's this sucker. The Excelsior 70839, released in 2019. It was only available as a retail set for about 9 months. It had a really short shelf life, and in my opinion, is one of the best Lego Movie or Lego Movie 2 sets that was released. And I have to tell you, this one stays together primarily because I think there would be a riot if I took it apart in my house. The kids love, A, that it looks like a fist, and B, that you can load 6 of the spring-loaded shooter missiles in it and go ahead and run around and shoot people with it, or shoot minifigs with it, or shoot whatever else you want with it. That is a hit. This one I can't take apart because it would be bad for my health. The kids love this one. The coolest space fist ever. Next up, 76832, the XL15 from Lightyear. And this one is not in here, like, I haven't even seen the movie Lightyear. I intend to at some point. I've heard it's decent. But this one is in here because it is such an incredible build. Looking at the incredible angles, like, that they were able to do some things. The designers really knocked this one out of the park. With all the different angles they got on the build that flow together seamlessly. I mean, it is just, they couldn't have done better. This build is interesting to build, it's fun to build. This set is a banger. The final build that's going on the shelf is from set 80032, the Mooncake Factory. And the rest of it, you know, it's a fine set, interesting. Monkey Kid always does a bunch of fun things, but this one, the Bunny Mech, crewed by bunnies, is amazing. And then to pair it with the carrot rocket full of the mooncakes. Just awesome. This is what Lego is all about to me. The bunnies can even eject from the mech and ride their own little runabout around. I would have bought this separate from the rest of the set. The bunny mech and the carrot rocket are the final entries on this showcase. What fictional space-related sets do you really like? And why? So the three lower, the space-related fictional sets are far more likely to end up in a box at some point. But the NASA sets, they'll probably be around for quite a while on my shelf. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button to see more like this. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.